Welcome to Dark Knight Films Reviews and another Hammer Productions night. Tonight, I will be reviewing The Steel Bayonet from 1957, directed by Michael Carrerras from a script by Howard Clews. Starring Leo Genn, Kieron Moore, Michael Medwin, Robert Brown, Michael Ripper, John Paul, Shay Gorman, and Percy Herbert. Now, this is a different style of film for me to be reviewing on the channel. This is a war film. And Hammer had done 5 war films. After they restarted the company in '57, there was 5 war films, starting with this one. Now, they might have done other war films prior to their restart, but that was under different producers and everything, people in charge. And I will get to some of those older films from the 30s and 40s. But right now I am more focused on the 50s, 60s, and 70s of Hammer. And this one is a really great war film. Very well acted, well directed by Michael Carrerras. Excellent performance by Leo Genn as Major Alan Gerard. He is so likable that you hate what he is put into, because the company he is in charge of, this British infantry unit, are asked to defend a small Arab farm from the advancing Nazi army. And it gets quite intense once they get to that farm. It kind of reminded me of the Alamo, in a way, with the way that they are having to defend this small area from an impending group coming in. And they have this water tower in the farm that the character of Kieron Moore's character of Dickie Meade has to scale and go up to the top and risk life and limb, peeking out with his binoculars to make, to notify his people and bombing areas that they have around there from the British, so that they can try and stop them from getting in. So he'll give the coordinates of where they're coming from, and then they will proceed to, bomb the area where he just said to bomb and stop the advancing Nazi army. But yeah, it's a risky, and it leaves you, your heart starts beating just watching him do that, just because, every time he pops his head up with those binoculars, you don't know when he might get shot and killed. So, yeah, that was tense, those moments while he's in that water tower. But interesting, great characters in this. And Michael Medwin's young Lieutenant Vernon comes in midway through the film, and his character is very green. He's never been in any battle situations, and yet he wants to lead. And there are moments where he is trying to give orders to experienced troops, and they don't listen to him. And then when, the actual major comes in, defies what he just ordered, he's upset by that. But he's young. He doesn't understand that, he was protecting his men, the major was, because what he was ordering them to do, he was ordering a bunch of them to just go out a full frontal assault on some Nazis that were coming in, which would have gotten a lot of his men killed. So he told them to do something a little smarter to prevent deaths. And that's the difference between an experienced military commander and a young, inexperienced one, like Lieutenant Vernon is. But Robert Brown is in this film as a Company Sergeant Major Gill. And it's another time when I know him as an actor, but just like in 1,000,000 Years BC, I did not recognize him. He was unrecognizable as the character in here. I didn't know it until, later on I was looking at the credits and I was like, what? He was in that? What? And then later on, whenever I looked at the footage and I was like, where was he again? And then I started looking a little closer and I was like, oh, wow, shit, that is him. But yeah, great actor and freaking chameleon. I mean, the guy can play a role in some of these early films, and you're not thinking of his character that he played in the James Bond films playing M. Great actor. Michael Ripper plays a very enjoyable, smaller role as Private Middleditch. Now, I'm not making that name up. That is the name of his character. But his character is always either coming in with a cup of tea or he is asking the major or the sergeant major if they want some tea, that he has a fresh brew that he's just done. And it's like going a little too far on the whole British drinking tea kind of thing there with that. But, it was kind of funny, though. And Michael Ripper makes it work because he has this natural humor about him. But most of this film is very, very serious. There's, slight moments like that where you get a little bit of levity in there. But for the most part, it is a very serious war film. And the battle sequences that Hammer was able to put together in this thing, Michael Carrerras directs some really good stuff, and you would not expect that from this company. Very tense battle situations. And ironically, Michael Caine supposedly has a small role as a German soldier. And good luck seeing him in all of this, because the Germans are not shown a lot. They are only shown when they are marching in, coming in to attack, and it's very briefly, and most of them are getting shot and killed pretty quick. Or stabbed with a bayonet. So I wasn't able to see him in the film to where I could point out, hey, there he is. So don't know where he was in there. I just know that he is supposed to have been playing one of the German soldiers in there. But great movie. And I just want to get it out there to where, something like this that is lesser known from Hammer gets some attention. Because this is a really good war film. This is as good as any of the war films that John Wayne was in. And, a lot of his were very popular. But this is as good as any of them. Well acted, well directed. The battle sequences, as I said, are very well put together. Great film. So in closing, I am going to give the Steel Bayonet from 1957, I am going to give this film a 8.9 out of 10. This is a damn good war film from Hammer. And considering it was their first, I think if the rest of the films are as good as this one, I'm looking forward to them. But what do you think of the Steel Bayonet? Have you seen this film? Do you agree with my review? Do you disagree? Let me know in those comments down below. And, as usual, if you enjoyed this video, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to click that bell icon so you can be notified about future videos just like this one. And while you're by the subscribe button, click that join button and become a Dark Knight fan.
Well, that's it for another Hammer Productions night. If you missed last week's Hammer Productions night, check out the link up here to get caught up on that one. Or if you missed any of the other Hammer Productions night, be sure and check out the playlist right here to get caught up on any of them that you have missed.